another video here of House Divided. Great weekend, last weekend of the NFL and second round of the playoffs. A lot of upsets in the college football playoffs and some great important playoff implication games in the NFL. First of all, we'll go into our best bets from last week. 3-2 for me.
Oh, 3-3 for me.
Yeah,
push.
Yeah, pushing to 59-54 for me on the season, and Jose's at 34-30 and one tie. You got hooked on one of those, unfortunate, but
Yeah.
still positive on the season for both. So if you have been tailing our picks, we've been pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously, the going with the favorites parlay was not great for college football, but the one that stings was that 51 points on a 51.5 over.
Yeah, man. But my favorites parlay has not been working these last couple weeks. NFL, I think it's like 6 in a row I've missed, and usually it was an automatic machine, but hopefully we'll bounce back this week because we cooked it back up.
I got one too.
We'll go straight into your team. An absolute thriller off a missed field goal. First, the Steelers missed their extra point, and it looked okay. Maybe they choke. And then the Ravens drive down the field. They do their job, and the kicker chokes for the Ravens and misses his field goal. The Steelers end up winning the division, holding that 4th spot in a home playoff game against the Texans. What are your playoff hopes here for the Steelers? And we'll move after to the Ravens' offseason outlook.
Yeah, let's start with my team, the Steelers. I thought it was a very bad first half, but I kind of knew where the game was going. I thought it was going to be low scoring, so I really wanted a kick when we decided to do that pitch. It gave me nightmares of Texas against Ohio State a year ago. It was bad. I wish we would have kicked there. When it came down to we were up by 2, I was like, we should have kicked at halftime. That's all I could think about. To me, the pivotal point of the game was Kyle Hamilton getting hurt.
Yeah.
Really helped open up our passing game when their best defensive player was out of the game.
Yeah, they only had, before that last drive, 3 points against them. And then you saw the Steelers kind of get to 20, and then Kyle Hamilton came back in, and they struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
So, that was massive. But also, I think Nate Wiggins went down, and Awuzie went down at the end. But that was a big piece as Hamilton.
Yeah, it really helped even out our wide receiver core of Calvin Austin, Adam Thielen, MVS. So
it's great. That's a great
great receiving core
in 2018.
Yeah, I think the most enjoyable thing though was just seeing Aaron Rodgers deal with football, looking like Mr. Discount double check. That was very fun to see. I'm glad to see he gets one more game at least. The way he's playing, I'm hoping for one more year of Aaron Rodgers. I want him. I'm okay with him staying another year. He's been very fun to watch, even though it's been a hard, stressful year to watch. The defense showed up at moments. It had some great moments. I like when Harmon is in. Our run defense is much better with him. Obviously, he wasn't there against Buffalo, and we got ran over, and you can see the improvement. We held him when we could. It helped that Lamar wasn't healthy enough to go to the run sometimes, but he could still throw, which was very concerning for the Steelers. I mean, Jalen Ramsey had a couple busted coverages that really hurt us. And the one I was really mad at was when he missed time to jump for an interception on Likely.
What was it? It was 4th down.
It was 4th down. Just slap it down and the game's over. That one was really stressful. But thankfully, Tyler Luke did the city of Pittsburgh.
It was because the priest blessed
the Catholic Church. I saw that they blessed us. There's a blessing. Clearly, they're blessing the Steelers. Clearly, they're blessing the Bears as well through Pope Leo. I think that's our Super Bowl matchup right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just kind of like the Steelers of old, but we made it through this year, and we'll see. Hopefully, we're not 1-0.
Yeah. I think also a big thing, you also mentioned Kyle Hamilton's injury. I think also those 2 running backs started getting going. Yeah. They were, on the ground, but mostly on the pass. They were Rodgers' safety blanket, and
Kenneth Gainwell and Warren
they both had a lot of yards after catch. Fryermuth got going in the second half as well. And
my biggest thing for what we've needed to do 4 weeks and need to do in the playoffs is we need to get the ball to 88. He's very good when he gets the ball.
And you could see in the 4th quarter, especially Rodgers just taking over the game and really just reading the defense and dishing the ball out, which is what you want from a veteran quarterback, kind of declining, just using his IQ more than his athleticism. And, great win. I think for the Ravens' offseason outlook, this is weird because you're getting older, especially with Derrick Henry. That defense still a little shaky. Kyle Hamilton, you got to keep him. And he's the best player, and you got to build around him. But you need youth. And a lot more legs on that defense, and then offense, you still need a number one receiver. Zay Flowers is good. He had a big game,
He had a
but
big game.
I
Kept the
think
ball in his hands. He didn't fumble.
yeah, I think you need another guy next to him to help Lamar out if you don't trade Lamar, if you don't want to blow it up and give this year another run. But
yeah, I'll say for the Ravens, though, I think you need to switch kind of the way you're going about acquiring receivers. Maybe try to get a younger guy because you've been going for older guys in free agency, and then when you go to the draft in the first round, you've been drafting the smaller gadget guys, and it hasn't worked out with Hollywood. It didn't work out with Sean Bateman, and now Zay Flowers has been the best of the bunch, and he hasn't been a true number one yet. So
something concerning that's kind of happened all season also with the Steelers was there was a bunch of times they had Lamar covered and then he got away a little bit, but that's what he does. And then blown coverage at the end, which is a long touchdown.
The first touchdown to Zay Flowers.
And then there was another one. Jalen Ramsey tried to anticipate the throw on the slant, and the guy just kept going. I think it was Zay Flowers again, maybe, and another long touchdown. But
even the last one to Likely, I thought T.J. Watt was there. No, I mean that's more of a he just got outran by Lamar Jackson, but still.
But on all, great game. I think one of the games of the season definitely is considering the stakes. Really enjoyed it as a neutral fan, and yeah, man, we'll move on to.
Well, I mean, I think I enjoyed it even more.
As
a Steelers fan, but I sweated out a lot more.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's move on to this next one. Another one. This one's for the first overall seed. We had the Seahawks securing the overall 1 seed in San Francisco in a defensive battle there in San Francisco. So what were your thoughts in your game?
Yeah, I think it just shows you how well-rounded Seattle is and they can win both ways. They obviously won the big shootout against the Rams, which is one of the teams they needed to beat to cement the 1 seed, 39-38, or was it 38-37?
So they won. It was high scoring.
It was very high scoring. The offense came back. They were down a lot with like 8 minutes left in the fourth. They came back. They scored. They showed what you could do offensively. Then they have a game like this where it's been a high-scoring offense, a powered offense that's relied on their offense because their defense let them down all year. Because of injuries. When you lose Warner and Bosa, you're not going to be very good.
Yeah.
But they held that offense to 3 points, 13-3. That's a really interesting, strong balance. I mean, just shows what a good coaching job that team has done, the kind of personnel that they have. And then from a Niners side of thing, I mean, I just kind of trashed on the defense, but good job holding that offense to 13 points. Salah's been an amazing reacquisition for them. So that they've been very fun to watch, whether it's been bad defense and good offense, or apparently bad offense, good defense. It's one or the other, but very interesting. I think they have the opportunity to do something special if they can maybe get those in line. But the big takeaway is, to me, Seattle's can win any way they want to. They're able to win in different ways, which is very important at this stage of the year.
Yeah, I think Jason had a good game. He was a little quiet for his standards, obviously, but he was creating a lot of flags, especially against Lenore. And the two-headed monster in Walker and Charbonnet really couldn't be stopped, and that was the difference. It seemed like anytime San Francisco needed to get the ball back or anything, that those guys would pick up a crucial first down or make it second and third, and it's just you got an elite offense for 3 yards and maybe 3 downs at times. They're going to get it every time. And, yeah, I think better defensive showing from the 49ers, especially after that Bears game. That was a little concerning. But, yeah, like you said, Seattle solidifying themselves as the best team in the NFC right now. And they're dangerous, though everything has to go through Seattle. Not an easy place to play. Elite defensively, which is how they won their Super Bowls. So it'll be interesting to see. I think this year there's a lot of uncertainty in the NFL playoffs, which I love usually.
Yes, a lot of
especially last year. I think we both predicted the Super Bowl. It was very
easy.
Very easy. I think this year there's a lot of new players, a lot of new teams, a lot of new faces. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, think of the QBs who won a ring are the
Josh Allen,
Jalen Hurts and the Struggling Eagles, Matt Stafford and what we thought could be a favorite, and they've hit a rough patch, and then 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers on the team. So it's not the same experience. Then all the other QBs, I think they haven't won a lot. It's Trevor Lawrence who's won a game. C.J. Stroud's won 2. Drake May, who's never won a game. Bo Nix, who's never won a playoff game. So it's going to be very fun, very interesting. It's very refreshing, kind of like the college football playoff this year when 2 teams have never won a national championship. I think one's last one was in the 60s, and then Miami was the most recent one. It was before both of us were born. So
Yeah, exactly.
very, very interesting, very refreshing. And I think we're kind of looking at the NFL playoffs like that in a way.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this last game here. The Bucks win Week 18 matchups, but lose the division anyway to the Panthers. The Falcons do a favor there to Carolina. Not a lot to talk about this game. We can look at the offseason outlook here of the Bucks, and then kind of Carolina, what they have to do for some playoff success.
Let's start us off with the Bucks. Bucks outlook is I think you're way too talented a team to be 8-9. I think you're way too talented a team to be in the position you are right now and not win that division. I think you're on paper a better team than Carolina. I think you're a better team earlier in the year than Carolina is right now. I think a lot of people thought you would be real contenders when you started with the big win against Seattle, so it was very interesting to see the fall off. I think probably, obviously what a lot of people are saying is coaching change in Tampa Bay. I could see that. I mean, I think it's a very real possibility if that's what you need to, because you're not going in for a rebuild, so it'll be the best job on the market most likely. You have the quarterback, you have the pieces. So I think you're kind of looking at quick little reload, come back to take your division again next year if you get the right head coach, and I think it'll be an easier situation, and you'll probably have the best. You'll get the cream of the crop. You'll get because everybody else is going in a rebuild. What hurts for them is that they lost Liam Cohen to the Jaguars, and he's in the playoffs, and they lost Canales to the Panthers, and he just took their playoff spot. So that's a little bit ironic, but I think you have the pieces. You're going to keep Baker. You're going to keep your receiving room. You're going to keep your O-line together. You're going to keep which they're not what they once used to be, but they're still. You still have Wirfs, and then you're going to keep that defense together, hopefully. So, well, that's what you got to try to do. Like you have the pieces. You're going to try to add. You're not a team that's going to try to rebuild. You're just trying to keep together, keep the core, and improve.
I think you got to keep the core, but I think you're way too stacked at the receiver room. Maybe if you get rid of one of those guys and shore up some weakness, especially defensively this year that we saw, I think that offense maybe a little help on the line. That can be interesting for agency of the draft, but I think if you want to maybe trade even for a pick.
You don't need to do something so drastic.
No, I'm not saying trade Mike Evans, but I'm just saying you got 5 guys.
Yeah.
You got Evans, Ibuka, Godwin, McMillan, and Tess Johnson really stepped up this year, and he's looking like he's still young, and he's still looking like it was his rookie year, but he's looking like a guy that can be really good for a team. So just getting rid of one of the guys, maybe getting some draft capital, and trying to shore up that defense a little bit, that O-line. And I think a lot injuries played a big role with especially receivers and running backs this year. So I think it's obviously you hate to not win your division, especially a division that was that weak when you have a team that good. But I think you'll be fine. Just keep building and keep just fixing what went wrong this year.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at the South. You got 8-9, 3 teams with 8-9. One team's in the playoffs, and it's all positive. You didn't think you'd be here this year. One team's already fired their GM and their coach. It's not looking good. You don't have a first-round pick this year. And then the other end of your QB tore his ACL, and then your backup is a 39-year-old who you're paying a ton of money to. And then the other team in the middle is Tampa. And, it's like there's a lot of talk. Is Bowles on the hot seat? Is he getting fired? Because you have the team. This should have been our division. It wasn't. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason for them.
And then unfortunately for the Panthers, I do like this team somewhat. I just don't like their first-round matchup. We'll get into that later, but I don't have high hopes for this team. I think this team, it'll be good to get an experienced playoff, especially at home for Bryce Young and Ted McMillan, those young guys. But I think it's just a building block to get some experience under your belt and taste winning, which Bryce Young, he was very sad in his first season, so obviously he wasn't playing as good, but now he's winning, he's smiling, playing with confidence, and that's what you want from your young quarterback.
Hopefully take it like the Broncos did a year ago.
Yeah.
They had a young QB, Bo Nix. They made it to the playoffs. They overperformed what everybody thought they were going to do. They made it to the playoffs. They obviously took a big loss to the Bills. And they got bounced now this year. They're the 1 seed because they built on their weaknesses. They developed the QB. They took that next step with that offensive-minded head coach, which Carolina has right now. So hopefully they can take a similar step to the Broncos this year.
Exactly. All right, let's move on here to college football. We started with NFL because it was recent on our minds, but here we got Miami upsets the reigning champs in Ohio State. Can they win it all? I know they're in the Final Four, so technically they can, but
Yeah.
do you see this team?
No, I absolutely do see them winning. I mean, they have what's been playing like one of the best defenses right now. They are absolutely phenomenal. I talked about earlier in the year how the secondary has transformed. They certainly have. They're very good. And there's not enough you can say about that defensive front. They are mean. They are angry. They are strong. They are aggressive. They will shut down a lot of people, as they have obviously held your Aggies to 3 points, completely shut down Ohio State this last week, and we all propped up Ohio State all year, and so it's a very impressive win that Miami's defense was able to do. And as you said, offensively, it was guys like Tony they needed to rely on, and as long as Carson Beck can manage the game, which is what quarterbacks are supposed to do, and take care of the ball, which he has been doing. I think Miami has a very real chance to take on any team, which is obviously the favorites are Indiana, and I think they are very much ready and prepared to compete with them.
Yeah, to me, I think Miami probably has the best position unit that is left, and it would be that D line, I think, and with the best player. Reuben Bain was, again, a major factor in that game. Absolute monster. And Jeremiah Smith, shout out to him, had a big game. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 8 catches, 160 yards, and a touchdown. That's what you want to see from your wide receiver one. Just unfortunate. Ohio State's defense, obviously all the name value, one of the best all season. They didn't play that bad a game, but Miami did enough to help their defense out for them to win.
When you think about it, in a game like this, you can win off letting off 24 points.
Yeah, especially with the caliber defenses that are in this playoff. The only one, I guess, out of the 4 is left is Ole Miss. That's probably the worst, but their offense is elite. But, yeah, great win from Miami. Obviously, Ohio State, you won last year. You did what you were supposed to and beat Michigan this year, so your fans shouldn't be too upset.
It's so successful year. I mean, it's very hard to repeat. You made it to the playoffs. You beat your rival.
Yeah. You got Jeremiah Smith coming back. You got Julian Sane coming back. You got Chris Henry Jr. coming in. So I think you're fine. And in the Big Ten, you'll have 2 tough games. I think Ohio State should be favoring every single game they play. So except that at Texas, maybe we'll see how Texas retools. But they'll be a great team, and they'll be in the hunt for another national championship next year.
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. How many times does it happen that you're a playoff team, you are the 2 seed in the country, and you are getting your wide receiver 1 and your QB back after one of them was just a Heisman finalist and the other one was the best receiver in the country. So
and you're getting the best freshman receiver in the country. Yeah. And then there's transfer rumors. Maybe they said, like, screw it, let's add Cam Coleman into this.
Oh, my God, if he goes there, that's insane.
Yeah.
We need him at Texas, or at least at Texas A&M. Keep him away from Ohio
Or Tech.
State.
Just keep him away.
Yeah.
Any team but Ohio State, to be honest. All right, man, let's move on. I'll go straight into this one. I'll break it down. We got Ole Miss winning despite all of their coaching drama and is the lone SEC team standing. A lot of teams didn't think. Or a lot of people didn't think that would happen. I love this Georgia team. I thought this Georgia team, I picked them to win it all.
I picked them to win this game. I think they were looking great.
Honestly, before the playoffs started and late into the season, I said I love Ole Miss, but with all the drama, I didn't think, obviously I thought they were going to be Tulane, but I didn't think they'd make it far. But, I mean, Trinidad just showing you can be a D2 player, can be whatever. If you get your shot, take your chance and show them what you got, and it's really a great story. And despite losing a lot of offensive coaches and all the drama, they get it done against a great team, and he put on a show, and they took care of business and kind of got their revenge from earlier in the year. And this offense is scary, man. This is the best offense left, and obviously they're not strong defensively, and they're about to face some great defenses if they keep moving, but wow, what a game from Trinidad especially. And I mean, as an Ole Miss fan, this is the best moment ever. So love to see that. That's why I like the 12-team playoffs. Gives a lot of teams a chance to make a run.
Yeah, I mean, think about 2 teams wouldn't be here right now. 3 wouldn't be here. Oregon wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Ole Miss wouldn't be here, and
obviously
neither would Miami be here. So That's really what it does. It opens up the chance that you can lose that one conference game. You can even lose the middle of the pack teams like Miami did. I mean, Oregon wouldn't have been in, and they lost to the number 1 team in the country. So that's what's great about this opportunity that has arisen over the last 2 years. Obviously, last year all 4 finalists didn't even have bye weeks. So
Yeah.
it's kinda,
Well, 3 out of 4 this week.
3 out
Something's
of 4
wrong
this
with the
year,
bye
so-
week.
Yeah, I think it's just it's
Yeah.
a month sometimes.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Lost, but it's a lot of time. But yeah, from an Ole Miss point of view, this is probably the best weekend that's ever happened in Ole Miss football, at least in recent history. Absolutely sensational, as you said. It's all about the offense there in Oxford. And Chambliss, he's coming back for another year if he gets his waiver through. But he's announced he's not going to LSU. He's staying at Ole Miss if he's allowed to stay in college football, which is a huge win for them. He is an absolutely sensational quarterback. He's exactly what you say, a role model of when you get your chance, take it.
Or even like a lot of kids that get D2 offers, like obviously, like if you want to bet on yourself, you can do it. He's
Those are
shown
good opportunities. Take them.
Yeah.
He's that whole offense really was sensational. The way they were able to fight back when Georgia was able to take some control. Georgia punched them back. They punched back. So it was really fun to see how they were able to bounce back, especially a team that was able to unite after losing their coach like that and that whole drama. They were able to rally themselves. Now that they're rallying all of Ole Miss fans, that community behind them, into what's going to be a very special game, I think, against Miami this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game, and it'll be interesting. 2 offenses that are very powerful.
Yeah.
Obviously, more consistency from Ole Miss, but we'll go into that.
Yeah, it'll be very fun to see that explosive offense against that elite defense.
All right, here for this next one, I got listed money does not pay for points. Second most embarrassing performance. Actually,
I'd say
no, first most embarrassing performance, and then there's 2 tied for second with A&M and actually Bama's is more embarrassing because at least we were only down a touchdown. They lost by like 31, but yeah, Tech could not put up a single point. Oregon beats them 23-0 if I'm not mistaken. Obviously impressive that you can shut out a team
in the playoffs.
The number 4 team in the country according to most people, if not top 6 team according to most people. And I think the difference in this game to me was obviously that Oregon defense was showing up and Tech's defense just...
They fought valiantly.
Yeah, they couldn't do... There's nothing you can do when your offense is in. And I mean, I think Tech offense had like 4, maybe 3 turnovers. Mm-hmm. I think that was the difference in the game. Oregon's offense wasn't super flashy. They just got good field position and took advantage and put up minimum points. And that Tech offense is atrocious. We kind of saw it the whole year, but it was really exposed here on Saturday morning.
Yeah, you faced an elite defense, and it just came crumbling. Morton didn't look good. I think everybody's seen that. So, and they've ripped him a little too much, but he did not have a great game. But overall, that offense didn't have a good game at all. The protection wasn't very great. He seemed to be under pressure. I mean, that Oregon defensive line, we kind of talked about it before the game. We alluded to it, and they are very good. And then they force the turnovers, and if you do that, there's just no way they're going to be able to do it. I mean, 0 points is just embarrassing. No, not really. But what a job from Oregon. They shut them down completely. One of the best defensive performances I've seen. Probably, if you take the entire 12-team playoff history, just the 2 years, it might be the best defensive performance.
Definitely, yeah.
So
I think that just shows why they just paid a guy $5 million to come play quarterback.
Yeah, that's why you go and get your guy like Sorsby and you give him $5 million for 1 year.
Yeah.
They're gonna make sure they don't ever put up 0 points in a playoff game again. And from Oregon's offense, as you said, 23 points on that offense is defense is pretty good. I mean, I think how much you had the ball, I kind of wish you would have put up more. Mm-hmm. But if you would have told me before the game, you're going to win by 23, I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you take any win, ugly, pretty, anything, you take a win. All right, this last one, a pretty win. Indiana just blowing the doors off Bama. To me, the most impressive.
Yeah.
I think, and definitely in this age of college football, the 12-team playoff here so far, most impressive win against quality opposition. Are they the new Bama for years to come, man? Or is it...
Well, we need to see. I mean, with what
Yeah,
they've done in the
obviously.
portal this year, I mean, already they got Marsh, they got Hoover, who I think is going to be a fantastic
Yes,
fit. He's
obviously. Slinger.
He's a perfect fit for that for Cincinnati in that offense. He's going to work really hard. But I think that I think they're 100% the Bama of this year at least.
Yeah.
They are.
They got the coach, man.
They are.
He knows how to win.
They never give up, even if they're up 50. It's kind of like you're the overdog, but you have an underdog mentality. You're gonna attack. You're gonna attack. You're gonna attack. You're gonna attack. They have the quarterback. They have the O-line. They have the defense. They have what a defense they have, man. Holding Alabama to 3. There were points where Matt came in and he threw
the first drive. It looked like they might turn this game around.
Like, this guy is looking good, but then that defense stepped up again. I was like, okay, we didn't know who you were. We saw you for a drive. We know who you are. They come in. They took control. They looked phenomenal. Cignetti, just incredible coach. All he does is win. Just Google him, man. What a line. He's really turned this team around. They have the Heisman. They are, to me, still 100% the favorites.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely the favorites. Great team, great coach. I think the strength of this team, Mendoza's amazing. Finally,
he's not the strength.
Finally showed up in a big game in a big way.
It was 5 yards per carry, or was it 6 yards per carry?
Yeah, well, they average around 6 to 7 yards per carry, which is ridiculous. So if they can keep doing that, it'll open up the pass game for this Heisman quarterback. So, and that defense, elite. Ty Simpson's draft stock plummeted these last couple weeks. Yeah. We had him as the best quarterback, and he has like at his best, he's the best, but the consistency isn't there. So we'll see what he does if he goes to the draft or comes back. But great game from Indiana, impressive. I think you got the coach to maybe build this new Bama. Mm-hmm. We'll see if he can get his players and the consistency. Obviously, it's been 2 years, insane 2 years. So turning around a team that's lost the most games I think I saw since 2010 or something, and now they're the most winning team these last 2 years. So
yeah, I'd even say for next year, I think Hoover's coming in as a higher profile than Mendoza came in for this year. So
Hoover was putting up 350 yards like it was nothing every week.
So it's going to be very interesting for them next year, for Alabama next year. You said a lot of unknowns. Is Simpson coming back? Are we turning to Keelan Russell next year? Yeah. What's the culture kind of going to be like in year 3 of DeBoer?
Yeah, I think DeBoer's job's definitely safe. He just has to show up next year. Yeah. But let's move on to the predictions here. We'll go straight into the college football. We'll stick to it. We got Miami versus Ole Miss. Who can continue their little Cinderella run we didn't expect at the start of the playoffs and punch their ticket to their national championship here, man?
Yeah, I'm going with the Miami Hurricanes continuing their story. To me, it comes down to that defense just playing like the best one right now. They're absolutely sensational, absolutely phenomenal. As you said, best position room left in the game in that D-line with the best player, Ruben Bain. And to me, that defense is just very solid, and that offense is playing great football. I think right now I'm very trusting of Carson Becken's ability to manage a game if they're ahead or if they're down. I think he has the ability to come back. And to me, my biggest concern is that offensive staff that they had these last 2 games is down to just Charlie West Jr. For Ole Miss. So, I still think they'll be good offensively. That personnel is just too good, and Weiss is still there. But, you don't lose. I think it's another 5 offensive coaches.
It's something like that. Another running back.
That does still raise a bit of concern to me. So I'm going with Miami. I just think they're way better defensively, and right now they're quite even offensively. They could be even enough offensively with the coaching staff really weighing down what the Ole Miss offense can do. Yeah,
I'm also going to go Miami. I think this Ole Miss O-line's not the best. Obviously, Trinidad can get away from Ruben Bain, but those guys are fast. Those guys are strong. These guys are good. And on the other side of the ball, I kind of agree. I think this Ole Miss defense will be the worst they faced so far. I mean, they put up 24 against Ohio State. I think they can put up 31 plus, and I just don't think Ole Miss could do that against Miami. So I am going to pick the Hurricanes to win. I'm thinking, I like that number 31 to 21, something like that. I do think that Ole Miss offense can cook.
They're still going to put up points.
I just don't think they can cook enough to beat this Miami team. And I think if Miami relies on Fletcher, kind of like they did against A&M, and get him downhill, it'll open up Malachi Tony even more. I know he was quiet that A&M game, but I think this Miami team kind of it feels kind of like that Ohio State team of last year, where they're getting hot in the playoffs and they're looking dominant defensively. That they could win it all.
Yeah, after some rough losses, they unlocked what they needed to do, and
now
they're doing it, and they're doing better than anybody.
Yeah. All right, let's go into this next one. We got a Big Ten rematch, and the top two draft prospects, Mendoza versus Moore. They played earlier in the season. I think a 10-point game win by Indiana. 30-20, correct. They show down here again. This one's tricky, man. I do like Oregon a lot, but we saw in the regular season in Oregon, it wasn't like an Indiana home game. I am going to pick Indiana to win this game. I think if they can continue to get 5 to 7 yards to carry and open up that pass game for Mendoza, I think it's over. I think this defense is elite. I think Dante Moore is really good, but I think he's going to struggle a little bit. And I'm going to pick Indiana to make the championship. I just think Cignetti just knows how to win. I know Lanning is elite as well. But I think Oregon, I think their team last year was better and they couldn't win. And I just don't see them making the championship with this team, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I just think I think Oregon's a great team. I love their defense. I really like Dante Moore. I like him a little bit more as a prospect, but he's still a great quarterback. That offense has been doing some good stuff. Like I said, a tiny bit concerned with the offense that you didn't put up more with how much you had the ball against Tech. I think you're facing as good, if not better, defense this week in Indiana, who shut down some great teams. And obviously, the level of offense you're facing is a lot better this week. You have the Heisman. You have a offensive line and running backs that are averaging, as you said, 6 yards per carry, if not more. So I am going with Indiana. They just have, to me, the advantage at quarterback. They have the advantage on the offensive line. They have the advantage at coach. And I think they're quite even at the other positions. Yeah. So.
I think they're just going to out-physical Oregon, which is crazy to say. They did it to Bama, but I think they're going to out-physical him. It all comes from the head coach and that O-line mindset, and I think it's going to be more of the same. I think I have a 24 to 17 Indiana.
Yeah, I do like that. I do think it's going to be closer than what. I mean, it was a 10-point game, but I do think it's going to be closer. I could see that. I was thinking a little 27, 20.
Yeah, same range. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the NFL playoffs. We got 6 games to break down here across 3 days, which you love to see.
Love to see it.
5 days in a row. You got Thursday, you got Ole Miss, Miami. Then you got
Friday, you got the Indiana game.
Then you got 2 playoff games with the Rams, and then the Packers and Bears. Then you got 3 on Sunday and 1 on Monday night.
Texans Monday night football.
So great weekend of football, great weekend of bet, great weekend for everything, man. Drink, grab a beer, sit down on the couch and watch some football. But let's move on to this first one. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be quick about this one. We got the Rams. Will they get revenge against the Panthers this weekend on Saturday? I'm going to say a quick yes. Devontae Adams should be back, rested. They rested him last week. Puka Nacua, insane. Best wide receiver along with JSN in the league. I just think Matthew Stafford and this team is too good.
And Stafford found his form again this last week.
Yeah, so I think they're just going to dot up the Panthers. And I don't think Bryce Young can put up enough to keep up with that high-powering offense.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, can't make any too bold statements because the Panthers did beat them once, so we got to be careful what you say on camera. But I'm going with the Rams as well. I think there's a reason why they have the highest spread differential than any other opponent this
insane.
week.
10.5.
Yeah.
I do think that's a little high, but...
Yeah, especially since they already did lose to the Panthers.
On the road, too.
Yeah, and as you said, Devontae Adams is back, which I think is huge, just because of not only what it means having such a good weapon, just what it opens up on the passing game and on the running game.
Well, I mean, Puka's been putting up insane numbers. Technically double-teamed, and now Devontae's back. So, and they could still double-team Puka, and then Devontae's been such a red zone threat for Stafford.
So I think the Rams really are if you had to tell me it's the most surefire pick of the entire weekend, I'm going with the Rams over the Panthers. keep it short and sweet. The Rams.
Yeah. All right, move on to a divisional rivalry game. They split the regular season, if I'm not mistaken, Saturday night. Packers versus Bears in Soldier Field. Great atmosphere. They finally get playoff football back there. Who you got in this game? I think the Bears are favored by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. We just saw one of the best rivalries in the NFL play basically a playoff game. Winner stays in, losers out. And we get another week of that in prime time. One of the best rivalries in the NFL. Winners in, losers out. This time it's a little different though. Steelers, Ravens, they kind of find themselves in similar situations where one's going to be fine for the playoffs every year. They literally played in the playoffs a year ago. Bears, Packers in the playoffs is rare. You don't see them there. Bears have been struggling for a couple of years, and the Packers have been good for a couple of years, and the Bears are actually the champions this time around. But I'm going with the Packers in this game. I think you get Jordan Love back. I think you get going. I think the Bears have used up some of their magic. I think that defense to me is very concerning. Even more concerning than the Packers defense, who's been playing well. I know they lost Micah, and that Ravens game is very concerning to see. And then last week against Minnesota, you didn't have Love. You didn't even have Willis, so very concerned. But I'm still going with the Packers. I think they have more experience. Jordan Love has won the games. This is going to be too big a moment for, I feel like, Caleb. It's his first playoff game. I think he's still going to play well, but I'm going with the Packers.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go with the Bears here. Not only because they're at home, I do think we saw them beat the Packers in the second meeting at home.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a similar game. Obviously, the Bears just find a way to win close games. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be an ugly divisional game. A lot of hatred going on both sides. I just think Ben Johnson will have or set up Caleb Williams for success and give him a good game plan to manage the game well and rely on his two new Sonic and Knuckles and Manungai and Swift.
Yeah.
And I do think the Bears get here. I think Micah's a big loss. They lose a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
So much pressure.
And when Caleb has time, he's pretty good. It's when he gets a little under pressure where he starts to panic, makes mistakes, and takes sacks he shouldn't be taking. So I am going to take the Bears here in a lucky game. They're going to find a way to pull it out in the last second. I just feel it.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the weapons. I love the weapons, especially Colston Lovin has just been
He's been stepping up,
to end the year. So that if the 18 to 84 works, they're definitely winning.
Yeah.
But I think I just like Love right now, and I think they can win it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the spread's valid at 1.
Yeah.
So, next game. Is this Josh Allen's year? Can they win against the red-hot Jaguars here?
All year, I've been propping up the Bills. I've been saying this is their year. Preseason, I was saying this is their year. I didn't love the Chiefs this year. I didn't love the Ravens this year. Well, I never liked the Ravens. I always downplay what they're going to be able to do. But it comes to the moment, and I'm not rocking with the Bills. I'm going with what is the hottest team in the AFC, in my opinion. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're playing absolutely phenomenal football. I think Trevor Lawrence has probably been the best quarterback of December. I think he's played incredible football. He did it again last week, and the week before, and the week before that. Since he's got Myers and he got going with Jacoby Myers, he's been sensational. The defense has been playing well. I'm not saying they're lights out. They're not Denver. They're not Houston, but they're a very solid defense.
They're good.
Much better. Yeah,
they're young. They're
young.
hustly. Yeah.
Yeah, they're better. They're better than the Bills' defense by a good amount.
Yeah.
So I like that, and Trevor's going to need to do less than Josh Allen needs to do, and obviously there's going to be a lot of weight that Josh Allen has to carry, and I don't know if he's been playing at that level for the last couple of weeks. So I'm going with what is to me the red hot Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Obviously.
Yeah, this one's tough, man. I've been flipping back and forth. I think this is the only one I've been flipping back and forth on.
Yeah, it's hard because you have Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the better quarterback here in the playoffs. I'm going to go with Josh. Historically, I think Trevor Lawrence, like you said, has been spectacular.
He threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, so I think this has to be Josh Allen's year. If you don't get it this year with Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar, this has to be your year to make the Super Bowl. I'm not saying I'm predicting to, but you can't be losing round 1. I just think when it comes to the playoffs, Josh Allen puts in an extra Superman cape and really just looks like every time he gets the ball, he puts up points. and I think he's gonna do that again. He had a rest last week, and he had that one snap to keep his start streak going, but he had a rest, and I think James Cook is an absolute monster. He's like very, very underrated. He's always consistently one of the best running backs in the league, but yet no one talks about him. I am concerned for this defense, but I feel like in the playoffs they step up a little bit here and there. You need Joey Bosa to step up, and yeah, I am going to take the Bills. I do like this Jaguars team a lot. I would have picked them against anyone else they faced. I can't bet against Josh Allen right now.
I just saw what's his name, Trevor Lawrence go into Denver and carve one of the best defenses in the league up.
Yeah.
So it's very concerning what he can do
to the Bills.
The Bills defense. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of points that Josh Allen's going to have to make up against a very solid defense.
Yeah, I just think he can, man.
He definitely can, dude.
I just can't see.
He's so good to watch.
I can't see Josh Allen getting bounced around one with this lineup.
He's done it against better defenses too, so he very much can.
Yeah, I just keep flipping that.
It was one of the hardest ones to pick on the weekend.
All right, let's move on to this next one. The last four representatives of the NFC in the Super Bowl, the last 4 years: Niners, Eagles. What are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, what kind of different kind of matchup? We have the kind of cooling down Eagles playing with great defensive football, not the best offensive football. Jalen Hurts been struggling. Saquon hasn't been what he's been years before. We haven't seen the passing game. And then San Francisco's kind of the inverse. They've been very good offensively. They've struggled with a lot of injuries defensively. They've been really hot since, obviously they just lost, but before that they've been really hot since Purdy came back. Kind of like inverses of each other. If this game was played neutral or if this game was played in San Francisco, I'd be 100% sure slam dunk. I think I'm rolling with the Niners. It being a cross-country trip for them, being in Philadelphia where it's going to be cold, where it can be windy, rainy, there's a lot of factors that could play into what the 49ers can do offensively. And just because of that, I don't think it's enough. I'm still going with the Niners. I think they're very good. But it's because of that I do have some doubt into what the outcome is going to be. I think it's going to be a little low score. I think it's going to play into the Eagles' hands. But I just think that the way the Niners are playing right now, they just showed me that they have somewhat of a defense that can shut down some of the struggling offense that the Eagles have, and hopefully I hope they have the offense. I know they just put up 3 points, but there are games in the past that haven't so that they can put up points on this defense. So I'm going with the Niners. Purdy has the experience; he's been to the Super Bowl before. I know the Eagles have too, but I'm going with the Niners.
I'm actually going to agree. I think kind of what you said is true. I think the Niners are a better team, but being in Philadelphia and kind of their defensive injuries kind of makes you wary a little bit. But I do think they have the quarterback advantage right now in Purdy. They definitely have the head coach advantage. Shanahan is going to find a way to set them up for success and shut down that Eagles offense. I struggle with that. Eagles defense is really, really good. I think it's going to be very low scoring in a cold weather. But I mean, we saw like the Niners. They feel like they can beat how this Philadelphia team is built offensively. We saw how cocky they were even when they got blown out with their 4-string quarterback, granted, but they came back the next year, and blew them out twice. So I am going to pick the Niners to take care of business here. I think this team's really good. I think they just know how to win football games. Shanahan schemes it the way he wants to win, and they end up doing that. It was a little concerning, but Seattle has a great defense and divisional rivals. Yeah, so I am going to pick the 49ers in a close game, but I just think they're the better team. I don't like what I've seen from the Eagles this year.
Yeah, as you said. And then there's a little secret advantage. To me, the coordinator advantage also goes to San Francisco. Yeah. I think Robert Saleh is a great DC. He's overperformed with that defense. And then just the 3 best records are in the NFC West and that NFC, so that says a lot. They've had to face the kind of gauntlets that they've faced. So I think they're prepared for this moment. As you said, I think we're both running with San Francisco for a lot of good reasons. Yeah.
All right, next one. I'll go straight into that. Next one, Sunday Night Football, Chargers versus Patriots, 2 versus 7 seed. It's kind of crazy. I might go with the 7 seed here. I am going to pick the Chargers. I do like this Patriots team a lot. I think they're very inexperienced. I do like their head coach. He's very experienced. But I'm looking at the Patriots win, and the only good win I see is the Bills once.
Yeah.
I just think like they benefit from their schedule. The Chargers are very tested. Uh, they've been very injured, but they got some of their players back. I think Herbert has the advantage. Obviously, May has stats, but I think in big games, Herbert's played better. He's been in the playoffs, has a playoff win, if I'm not mistaken. Does he? No, he
lost.
doesn't. But
He lost the
He should have
Trevor
won that
Lawrence
game.
4-interception
He should have
game.
won that game, but unfortunately he didn't. But I just think this team is better. I think this defense has slowly been improving. So I am going to pick the Chargers here. Their weapons on the receivers and with that quarterback slinging it. I think if it comes down to it, who do I trust with the game on the bottom with a game-winning drive? I'd rather have Herbert and those weapons than Drake May and Stephon Diggs.
All right. I really want to go with the Chargers. You know what? Screw it. I've been riding with them all year.
Yes, sir.
Everything in my notes had me pointing. I had the Patriots. They're hosting a game. The Chargers have to go cross country. It's going to be in the cold.
But they rested their
Weird
players.
things happen in Foxborough that the Patriots can pull out. But I like the Chargers, man. They have a coach that's gone to the Super Bowl before. They have the quarterback who's got more experience. He's been in the playoffs before. They're getting healthier. Yeah, they're not getting their tackles back, but we know they haven't been. They were never getting them back this year. I love that defense. I love Jesse Minter. I think this might be maybe his final run with the Chargers. I think they're going to do something special, at least this week. And I think they come into Foxborough and the Chargers, reminiscent, or maybe not really reminiscent because Rivers didn't get it done a lot against Brady, but they prove that they're not Rivers and they're not Brady. I think the Chargers, I think Herbert comes in and does it, and I think they get the win over the Patriots.
Yeah, I just think this Patriots team is a couple pieces away.
Yeah.
I think they need another receiver to help Diggs. I think they need a little help on the O-line and then some defensive just experience. Yeah. They're still young and they're good, but it's going to be a good builder.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
Yeah, it's going to be a great building block, and I think this team's really good. They'll obviously have a tougher schedule next year, but I still think they'll be a playoff team next year. I don't know. I just feel the Chargers. All right, let's move on to this last one. Your team, man. A big game, Monday night standalone game that day. We got the best defense since 2009 statistically versus Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Monday night. Yeah, break it down for me, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Pittsburgh. It's going to be in the cold. It's going to be in the wind. You saw what the wind could do. It caused Loop and Boz to both miss. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers loves them cold playoff games. It's going to be hard weather. C.J. Stroud went to Ohio State, which is a little scary. He's been in the wind. That defense is very, very good. Probably the best defense we've played all year. And this offense has played very bad offense against some very questionable defenses, which is very scary. But I think Aaron Rodgers is built for these moments. We get DK Metcalf back. Surely we'll be better with that. The defense, the Steelers defense has stepped up the last couple of weeks. They've been better. And it just feels like it's the right moment. We can't let it be a decade without a playoff win. It feels like Rodgers was the guy we've been waiting for to finally get over that hump. I think we win one playoff game. I think the defense does just enough to keep what's been an on and off Houston Texans offense from doing what they need to do this week. I think our offense does just enough to score a little bit on the Texans, but that little bit on the Texans is a little bit more than what the Texans put up on us. I think we can win this like in a 17-13, 20-17 kind of game. It's not going to be a lot of points. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be like an AFC North game, but just with the Texans in it. It's going to be fun, and I think we're going to win in football weather.
Yeah. I've also flip-flopped, but I am going to stick with the people I had number 3 as my Super Bowl contenders, the Houston Texans. I think this defense is just way too good. I think it is going to be hard for this struggling Houston O-line to contain Hayward, Highsmith, and Watt and those guys, but I think they'll get the ball out quick. We kind of saw Lamar get the ball out quick to his stars, and that secondary struggle a lot. And I think it's going to be more similar, especially with Nico Collins. So I just think this Texans defense is too good, and we saw the Steelers offense kind of struggle when Kyle Hamilton was in, and that secondary was like not getting hurt and setting plays out here and there. So I am going to pick the Texans. I do think they'll create a turn over here on two. I do think Rodgers will have a smart game managing game, but I don't think he obviously doesn't have it as good. So I'm gonna pick the Texans, which is crazy. I just picked all three road teams here in the AFC, but I think the AFC is crazy this year.
So, do you see this as being Aaron Rodgers' final career game?
No, I think he'll be back. I don't know if either the Steelers. I know there's some other teams that are interested in him, but I think he'll be back. I mean, I think he's still got it. I think he's still maybe not as good as Brady was at the end of his career, but still the same type of player that can dissect the defense and really take control of a team and be a leader on them. So I think he'll be valuable to teams that are missing a guy like that, which the Steelers are one of them.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we bring him back. I think he's better than whatever option. There's not going to be an option in the 20s at quarterback. He's going to be a better option than we have on our roster right now in both Rudolph and Howard, and I think he's a better option than I think he's an even better option than some of the young. Like if Kyler Murray becomes available, I think I prefer Aaron Rodgers next year. Mm-hmm. If Kirk Cousins becomes available, I prefer Aaron Rodgers by a lot. So whoever comes up, if Brissett's available, if Denny Dimes is available, I'm feeling Aaron Rodgers next year because I don't think our offense has what it takes to keep Daniel Jones at a good level.
Yeah. All right. I'll go straight into my playoff picture. We kind of mentioned who we think are going to win these wildcard games, so I'll break down the divisional matchups I created in my brackets. Mm-hmm. So I got the 1-seeded Denver Broncos facing the 7-seeded Chargers. Then I got the 6-seeded Bills playing the 5-seeded Texans. I'll just do the AFC first. I have the Chargers beating the Broncos. I think this is the most fraudulent 1-seed I've ever seen in my life. I think this team, I do like that defense a lot, and Bo Nix has shown sparks. I just think the Chargers still kind of played them close with all their starters out. They beat them earlier in the season. And the Chargers are kind of getting going at the right time, obviously, except that Texans loss. And I trust Herbert more. And the defense kind of on par, so I am going to take the Chargers to make the AFC Championship game here. And then I got Bills versus Texans. I'm just going to go one word, Josh, or two words, Josh Allen. I don't think this Texans offense is good enough to exploit this terrible Buffalo defense we've seen so far. I think they'll step up in this game. And I do think Josh Allen is going to put on his Superman cape again and lead the Bills to the conference championship game. So that means I got Bills, Chargers, 6 seed versus 7 seed. And I am going to go with the Buffalo Bills to make the Super Bowl. I had them preseason. They haven't looked that good. They've had some concerning losses, but it's Josh Allen's year, man. I have to believe it's Josh Allen's year to make it out of the AFC and make a Super Bowl appearance.
You're cracking a 6-7 joke in the AFC Championship.
So I got the Bills here winning the AFC. They're just the most experienced team. It felt like their year coming into it. Seeing the teams that made it, it feels like their year. Then NFC, it would create Seahawks versus Niners, and then Bears versus Rams. I'm going to pick the Rams over the Bears. I think Stafford and all his experience and that great offense is just going to be too much for the Bears, and I think that Rams defense is better too. I like McVay's mind, kind of on par with Ben Johnson, and obviously those receivers will be the difference for the Rams. So I got the Rams making the championship game, and I got Seahawks-Niners. I am going to pick the Seahawks here. We kind of saw it in San Francisco. They can win. They can outscore them, but they can also win in a defensive battle. And with rest, I think they'll be really good and ready to go. And I think JSN has another kind of game-wrecking performance where he just has the secondary on their toes the whole game. And then I got Seahawks-Rams game of the year from a couple weeks ago. And I am going to go the Rams. So I'm going to stick to my preseason or mid-season, I guess, Super Bowl, which was Bills-Rams. And I just think, obviously, Seattle beat them last time, but it was a lot of questionable calls, a lot of I think that Rams defense is going to play better. I trust Stafford more. I think Darnold maybe in that big game struggles a little bit or makes a mistake. And I think this Rams team is just built for the playoffs, and they're built to win the Super Bowl. So I am going to go with Rams, Bills, and I think the Rams win it all. I just think Josh Allen can't keep up with an as explosive offense, but I think what's his face? Matthew Stafford has more help on that side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball as well,
All right.
which is what I picked preseason, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll start us off. I have, I guess, what the Packers going through. So the 7-seed Packers
Versus the
face
Seahawks.
the 1-seeded Seahawks. I think a lot of what you said about the Seahawks is true. They can win. Jason, I think, can have a monster game against the Packers as well. I think they're too good offensively and defensively. I got the Seahawks going through. They're the 1 seed for a reason. And then I have the 5-seeded Rams
Niners.
hosting the San Francisco 49ers. And I think the Rams win at home. I think they're better. I think they're better defensively. I think they're better offensively. I think it's that simple. And then I have, as same as you, a Rams, Seahawks trilogy rematch. One with all the stakes, spot in the Super Bowl on the line. And as you said, I think the Rams win this one. I think they get Devontae Adams back. I think this is kind of their moment. They got the QB with the experience. They got the coach who's won the Super Bowl before.
And I think something we forget from that matchup in Seattle is that it was a short week, an older team. No Devontae obviously wasn't there, and they still almost won that game. They were one play away.
Yeah, they were up by a lot for most of the game. Yeah. They kind of fell short. They got a little too conservative at the end, and that cost them. In the end, like you said, a couple calls went Seattle's way. And if you the same, I mean, I'm picking the Rams for the same reasons you said. It's simple as that. In the AFC, I have
You would have the
Chargers, Broncos.
The Broncos.
I really like the Chargers. Am I gonna do this again? Yes, I am. I'm picking the Chargers.
Hey,
over
welcome.
I'm picking the Chargers over the necessarily logical pick. As you said, Denver has looked bad in some games. They have no need looking bad in. I like Herbert. I think he has a clear advantage over Bo Nix. I think both defenses are very good. I think the Chargers is underrated when compared to the Broncos. And I just think, I don't know, when it comes to it, who do I want in the moment? I think I want Herbert. I think I even prefer someone. I think whether he's looking at McConkey, whether he's looking at an experienced guy like Keenan, I'm going with Harbaugh, who's made it to the Super Bowl before. So, I mean, I know Peyton's won the Super Bowl, but what's it kind of? It's college football, but Harbaugh did just win the national championship. So he's been there recently. So I'm going with the Chargers. Over on the other side.
Who's going to represent your AFC? I'm looking Jaguars.
I know. The Jaguars have owned the Steelers in the playoffs. They kind of ended the Killer Bees playoff runs in that very embarrassing game in 2017. It's been all downhill since then for the Steelers. And the Jaguars have been up and down, and who knows, but this is another up for the Jaguars. That offense is just going to put up way too many points, and that defense is very good, and they'll be able to control the Steelers. So I got a Jaguars hosting the Chargers, cross-country trip for the Chargers, and I can't run with the Chargers anymore. Herbert loses to the Trevor Lawrence Jaguars in the playoffs once more in the Battle of Hair. It's Trevor Lawrence takes his team to the Super Bowl. In a Jaguars-Rams Super Bowl, and I'm picking the Rams. I think it's just they have way too much experience, way too much talent offensively. They have the quarterback, they have the receivers, they have the running back, they have a good, decent O-line, and they have a great defense. Or they have what can be a great defense. They've had some rough games, but some great games. And I just really like the coaching staff. I like Shula. I like Sean McVay, possibly more than any other coach. He's one of those guys who has a great mind but gets the most out of everything. So I'm going with the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Yep, same Super Bowl pick. Way different.
Way different situation in the AFC.
The game.
Whoever wins Jaguars Bills, we have going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's insane. All right. Honestly, like if I didn't pick the Bills, I would probably pick the Jaguars. Like those are my two top, and the Texans would be the other one. But I'll go straight into my best bets for this week. We got the signature parlay. We got Miami money line. I think they're favored by 3.5 to 4 points. Don't love that spread, but love them to win this game for the reasons we stated earlier. And then I didn't love the money line for Indiana necessarily because I could see a way Oregon wins this one. So I am going to go Oregon plus 10.5 alternate. I think the spread right now is 4 to 5. I think bumping up to 10.5, I think it's going to be close. It was 10 in the regular season. I think Oregon's improved. Indiana's also improved, but I think it's hard to beat a team twice, but also harder to blow them out the second time. So I am going to go Oregon plus 10.5 with Miami money line. Then I got Bears minus 1.5. I think they're gonna win. We saw a couple weeks ago in Soldier Field, and I think it's gonna be more of the same, and they'll find a way to win this game. Then I got Chargers plus 3.5. We both said we think they're gonna win this game, even if they don't. I think a field goal, I'll take that hook, is too much, and they'll win this game. And if not, they'll keep it close against a young, inexperienced team. Then last one, the signature parlay, Rams money line. They're favored by 10 against the Panthers. I think they'll take care of business easily here. And then combined with Bills alternate plus 3.5 money line. I do think they win this game, but if not, Josh Allen is good enough to keep them within that field goal.
Yeah. For my first one, I have Miami -3 against Ole Miss. As you said earlier, I think we are around that 31-21. I think the offensive staff leaving for Ole Miss hampers them a little. They won't be able to score as much, and that defense is really good, and they'll be able to hold them to less. And I think they'll be Miami. So I think 3 is really safe. I think I'd even take it with a little bit more points. So I'm okay with taking this. Very okay taking this. Then I have Packers. I'm going with the opposite. We have Packers plus 1.5.
Yeah.
Where I set my sports bet at plus 1.5.
Yeah.
I like the Packers winning this. I don't love but I guess I wanted to take money line. But if they're giving me 1 point, I'll take the 1 point. Same goes for the Jaguars at plus 1.5. A lot of the same thing. I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win by like 3. So I want to take them on line, but I'll be safe. I'll take the point I have to still win. And then I'm going with your signature parlay. I'm taking the Rams money line. I'm taking the Niners money line.
Yeah, I was considering that one so much, but I was like, I see, since we were hesitating so much, like I see a world where the Eagles can just, with their experience, win this game.
Yeah, I was like, well, I gotta pick 2 money lines, and I don't want to repeat the games I've already picked.
Yeah.
I'm so unsure about the Steelers.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to pick the Chargers one.
I did like the Steelers plus 3.5. I almost bet it. I do think it's gonna be a close, ugly game, but I ended up not doing it because I do think the Texans win this game. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy those 5 days in a row of football, like we mentioned. And yeah, tune in for next week's episode where we react to all these games, a lot of games. It's gonna be a long episode, and then preview the games coming up. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. And happy 2026.
Yes, forgot about that. Hope you have a good New Year.